Hello, folks. This is Richard Florzak, the private chef to the stars, and welcome back to Talking About Food. It's the only local food review show on the Grand Strand that talks specifically about restaurants, food trucks, festivals, farmers markets, and also privately owned businesses here along the Grand Strand that people need to know about. You know, I try to find these cool, unique, privately owned places, be it a restaurant, food business owners. And remember, contrary to a restaurant chef, I cooked in a home, much like most of you listeners. You and I have a lot in common. I've often said the only difference between you, the home cook, and me, the private chef, is I used to get a paycheck. So always remember this, you are your family's private chef, which is why I am so excited to have in the studio today. Now, you home cooks are really going to dig this because you know what it's like. You and I know what it's like. You're having company over, you're having a dinner party or whatever, and you want to take it to the next level. You also don't want to be running all over the Grand Strand looking for all of the different cooking utensils, equipment that you need. And I found a place, I would say about a year ago. And it is called Gourmet Cooking Connection. They are located in the Hudson Surfside Flea Market. The owner is Chad Swain, and he's in the studio with me today. I can't wait to talk to him about the equipment. This is I was saying to Chad before we went on, I've had Kenny Wayne Shepherd, blues great, on the show with me. I've had Academy Award winner Paul Williams. I've had Mel Gibson, Academy Award winner, and you know his whole history. And this particular interview I am the most excited about because I think it will add so much value to the home cook. Chad, welcome to Talking About Food.
Thank you.
Your business is located inside of the Hudson Surfside Flea Market. When you pull into the parking lot, you are the farthest building to the right next to what used to be the water park there, and you're all the way in the back. How long have you been there?
I've been in the flea market about 20 years, but took over this business just over a year ago. Yeah,
so it's about 1 year, about the time that I came in. Are you a cook yourself?
Yes, but not a...
Who cooks at home?
Mainly the wife.
Is she good?
Yes.
Yeah, you better say that in case she listens to the show. Yeah, so you have some sort of background in food, certainly cooking at home, which makes you perfect for owning a business like this because you know what the people at home need.
Yes.
First of all, I often have trouble explaining to listeners or people that I know and that I meet about your business because I think of flea markets as a stall. Is that what they're called?
Well, you go by a booth.
A booth.
Yes.
That's a better way of saying it.
And you have like a 10 by 10 booth, and then you can have many of those attached to each other.
Which you obviously have because I would not describe you as a booth, which is what makes it difficult for me sometimes to describe to people. So what is that, 5 booths together?
The kitchen store itself would be 14. 14
booths?
Yes.
Holy moly. It's unbelievable. And that 14 booths is about how long, approximately?
Roughly 140 feet. So
140 feet at the Hudson Surfside Flea Market. Now, I can tell you from experience because as a private chef, I've shopped in every cooking supply stores, you name it, Williams-Sonoma, Crate and Barrel, Sur La Table, which you folks don't have around here. I think the closest one is in Raleigh, and then, of course, Amazon. The Gourmet Cooking Connection puts all of those different businesses together in one place at the flea market, and it is one-stop shopping for people like the listeners who cook at home, the caterers. You know what? Professional chefs as well. I was talking to Chad before the show started, and he does have commercial equipment in there as well, and gets a number of professional chefs in there, restaurant chefs and stuff. Gourmet Cooking Connection does not advertise with me. No one does. That's not what I'm here for. I just want listeners to know how much joy this business brings to me. How did you get started in this, Chad?
Like I said, I've been in the flea market for roughly 20 years. We have multiple stores in there. The actual Gourmet Cooking Connection store, the previous owner had opened it about 32 years ago.
Wow.
And then he was ready to retire, so I bought the business from him.
And you run it with your daughter, Ashley, right?
That is correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
she's terrific. She's a sweet gal, and she knows the business inside out. Why this business? I mean, you own some other businesses within the flea market. Why this one?
I really feel that this kitchen store is a big draw to the flea market overall. I mean, the amount of people that come to the flea market just for that kitchen store is amazing.
That's me. I mean, there are some other booths that I'll stop at once in a while. About a year ago, I was asked to do a dinner party, which I don't do too much anymore. And all I needed were doilies, paper doilies. I like to do classic presentations. So I go over to Kroger and I couldn't find any. I asked one of the workers there, do you have any doilies? And they looked at me like I'm from another planet. Every single grocery store reacted to me that way. And it was my wife who turned me on to you. She said, what about that cooking store, Gourmet Cooking Connection in the flea market? I said, I don't know that place. She goes, yeah, go. And she told me where to go. I walked in. Not only do you have, first of all, not only did you already know, it was Ashley that pointed me in the right direction. She knew exactly what I was talking about, but you had a selection of about 4 or 5 different sizes.
That is correct.
Yeah, it just blew me away. Tell the listeners some of the other items you might have. You were saying to me you've got some commercial items.
Yes. So we got a lot of small restaurant owners that food truck owners that will come in and buy, the commercial, cooking pots and like if you're having a buffet line and you need the trays and burners and things like that.
Right. You can supply that to them.
Yes.
Because I did notice you have the large scale pots and pans, right?
Yes.
Yeah. That's fantastic. Can you name some of the items that you have that may attract the home cook?
Well, one of our items that we have people come specifically looking for is the Rada knife collection.
Ah, yes. That's become a very popular. And you sell them?
Yes. We carry just about every line that they make.
Yeah. Well, what are some of the different sizes of knives that they supply?
Most popular is it's funny, it's called the tomato knife.
Yeah.
And that's definitely one of the most popular.
Right. And is that like specifically for tomatoes, or that's just the name that they give it?
That's the name they get it, but everybody thinks that's the case, but it's not. It's a great knife. It's very universal.
How big is that knife? Approximately.
Probably 6 to 8 inches.
Oh, so it's more along the lines of a chef's knife?
Yes.
Yeah. It's got the wide blade like that. What percentage of the people that ask for an item don't you have?
Very rarely, but now it will happen where we're just currently out of stock. Right. But we do carry it, and we'll have to tell them, come back in a couple of weeks and we'll have it.
Okay, so it's something that's out of stock. But what about percentage-wise? Somebody says to you, do you have one of these XYZs, and you don't? What percentage?
Maybe one out of 1,000.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. You know what? Speaking of that, just so the listeners will understand how great this business is and what they have, I want to play a game with Chad. I'm just going to throw some things out at you, some unique things that, I mean, some of the upscale supply, cooking supply stores, like I mentioned earlier, that I don't necessarily know that they would carry. So you willing to play that game?
We'll try.
Okay. All right. I absolutely love truffles. Now I'm talking about the mushroom truffle that are very, very expensive. And when you use expensive truffles for a dish, you have a special slicer. It's a little hand slicer, or grater, it might be called. Do you have a truffle grater?
Yes, we do.
I love this. What about a little more common, a salad spinner?
Yes, we probably have at least 4 different options.
4 different salad spinners. Like what? There are different options in size?
The sizes are pretty similar. Different options in the cost.
The cost.
Yes.
What would that mean? That one is better than the other, or
You got a lower end, medium end, and a higher end.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Not only do you have salad spinners, but you have your choice of low end to high end knife sharpeners.
Yes, we have many choices in that category.
Do you have an electric one?
Yes.
Wow. Do you by any chance know what brand it is?
I believe it's made by Smith.
Smith. Good quality?
Yes, they make a very good quality sharpener.
Okay. I saw this online not too long ago. If you have this, I'm just gonna die. A chicken shredder.
Yes, we do have them.
Now, tell the listeners, if you can, how this operates.
It's really very simple. It's a little small round plastic unit. Lid comes off, has two handles. You boil, bake your chicken however you choose. Push it down, rotate it back and forth. It shreds the chicken up finely in just seconds.
And what would you say people would use shredded chicken for?
A lot of the people that are buying these are saying they're making enchiladas, tacos.
I was just going to say, I didn't want to say it, but especially with Mexican food just getting more and more popular here, if you're making it at home, you got to have a chicken shredder, and they have it at the Gourmet Cooking Connection. Okay, next question for $100. I feel like a game show host here, but this is so much fun. I have this device. I may even have bought it on one of those as seen on TV things, and people used to make fun of me in the kitchen when I would use this thing. The way I describe it is it's a roundish device, and the top pops off, and you put in, we'll say, like a beet. You put the top on, you grind it, you spin it rather, and it produces these long spaghetti-like strands of that particular vegetable. Do you have that?
Yes, we do. A spiral grater, I believe.
A spiral grater. Yeah, for all those people who laughed at me. It's one time I'm doing this dinner party. I was working as a private chef for this Nigerian billionaire, and he had a butler. When the butler saw me using this, he was laughing at me about it. You know, he said, "Where'd you get that? On television?" You know, and I got more compliments for the presentation of that dinner than I ever did before. So here's right back at you, mister. A dumpling press.
Yes, we have. I think two options in that.
Yeah, well, two options how? Sizes?
Yes.
Yeah, sizes. So if you're making Chinese dumplings or any type of dumpling, you supply them.
Yes.
You got them there. What about for making ravioli?
Yes, we have that. It's like a press.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. Mini springform pans.
Yes, we have those. Several options to choose from.
Several sizes.
Different sizes, yes.
Wow. All right, this is way off the wall. They used to have them for electric burner stoves that kept them looking nice and neat. Electric burner covers, we'll call them.
Yes, we have those in many different styles, too.
This just blows me away. The little butter things, you keep butter out on the counter. What are they called?
Yes, Buttery is one of our more popular ones, and we do carry those as well.
Yeah, because you can keep that out, right?
Yes, you don't have to. A lot of people don't realize that. You don't have to put your butter in the refrigerator. You can actually leave it on the counter in a container.
And it stays.
That's correct.
Yeah, I learned that in Europe they do that. They never put their butter in the fridge. And in addition, especially in Italy, they'll leave fresh mozzarella out soaking in a water bowl. One more thing. This is for the big prize. A pasta dryer.
Yes, we do. We have one style in that.
Yeah. And have you sold any recently?
Actually, on Sunday, this past week.
Do you sell them often, or
no? It's not a real popular item, but
you had it.
But we had it.
So somebody came in and asked you, "Do you have a pasta dryer?" And you said,
"Yes."
Explain to the listeners what that is.
It's like a wooden rack, and after you make your homemade pasta, you lay it out over it to dry. So,
yeah. Instead of having to find something to use in your kitchen.
That's right.
Now, is something like that? Is it retractable? You put it away. I mean,
it folds up. Yep.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. Well, that was for all the money right there. I'll tell you something. Chad Swain of Gourmet Cooking Connection, you've got a 1 in a million business. I am so glad you're nearby. And folks, if you are the home cook, and I peruse, Facebook and Instagram and everything, and it seems like everybody and their mother are putting out pictures of their food concoctions. And if you don't know about this place, you got to check it out, because I've often said that what's going to take you from ordinary to extraordinary is your plate presentation. And this is one-stop shopping. It is, once again, gourmet cooking. It's at the Hudson Surfside Flea Market. When you pull into the parking lot, the building all the way to the right, all the way in the back, you will find Gourmet Cooking Connection. There is a business that's up front as you walk in the building, and they're decent, certainly worth checking out. But the real attraction to that particular building, and frankly, the Hudson Surfside Flea Market in general, Gourmet Cooking Connection. When are you open? What are your hours of operation?
So for the remainder of February, we're Friday through Sunday from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Okay.
And then starting in March through October, we're open Thursday through Sunday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Yeah, folks, don't miss this one. This is one of the most exciting, for me personally, interviews. I've been trying to get Chad on, but he's a businessman. He runs a business, and I know what that's like. Chad, I cannot thank you enough for coming in. Frankly, if you're interested, I would love to have you come back.
Well, I appreciate you having me, and we definitely would be interested.
So go see Chad Swain of the Gourmet Cooking Connection over at the Hudson Surfside Flea Market. If you see him, tell him the private chef to the stars sent you. And also, you might get a chance to meet his daughter, Ashley, sweet, sweet lady who knows that business inside out. Gourmet Cooking Connection. Thanks so much. And coming up right after the break is Christopher Dixon, owner of Dixon's Fixins. It's a home delivery service of meats, poultry, and seafood right to your door. And this guy is driven. Wait till you hear him. Stick around. So that was Chad Swain, owner of Gourmet Cooking Connection at the Hudson Surfside Flea Market. You guys got to check that out, especially if you're a home cook. You want to take it to the next level. But you know what? I wish that I had recorded this. He was getting ready to leave, and I had asked old Chad what he did prior to owning this business, and I was so surprised, so shocked. He was in the NASCAR business. I think he said for about 15 years, he used to do marketing for NASCAR all over the country. That's fascinating. I love cool stories like that. But I love interviewing local chefs, local restaurant owners, local food business owners. That's what it's all about. And I think I've got a different slant than, say, most chefs would have, that I worked in a home for 25 years as a private chef. Now, a lot of you will say, oh, yeah, well, it was, Mel Gibson's house or Leonardo DiCaprio's house. Yeah, but I still cooked in a home. And I did exactly what you folks do every single day of the week. As a matter of fact, I spent about a third of my day in grocery stores. What I wouldn't have given to have a gentleman who supplies food to the homes in the Grand Strand and all about South Carolina, like the gentleman who's sitting in front of me. His name is Christopher Dixon, and he is the owner of Dixon's Fixins, and it's a meat, poultry, pork, seafood delivery company that delivers right to your door. I mean, that would have made my day so much easier. But anyway, Christopher, welcome to Talking About Food.
Thanks for having me.
No, I'm glad you came in. I know you're a busy guy. Tell the listeners how you got started, because the older I get, the more I realize that there are a million different ways to make a living. And, I'm just always surprised by it. So tell the listeners how you got involved in this business.
And to honestly answer that, I would have to say as a kid with either one of my grandmothers, cooking in the kitchen, falling in love with food, recipes, how to put, you can take all these different ingredients, put them together, put them on a plate, and the expression and emotions that you catch off the faces of the people that you feed just wowed me. I've been in the industry. I've been in the food industry all my life. I worked inside of restaurants, worked my way from cold prep to salads to working on the grill. Again, falling in love more and more as I advanced through my career in food. Then I got into the industry. A good friend of mine from high school got me into the industry of food sales and wholesale distribution. Got me into a company. I worked for several different companies throughout my career, had different titles. Mr. 3000, I won top of sales for 2 years in a row out in Texas. And I met so many people, so many different like genres of the food industry, from the folks that are cooking it and buying it, to the folks that are supplying it, to the farms, to the restaurants where they end up at, and what it all turns into and what it contains is just something that has really driven me from the very beginning. That's also what our main mission at Dixon's Fixins is bringing quality back to your dinner table, because that's what we want.
Yeah, I saw on your website what you offer, and it's very impressive. Tell the listeners here in the Grand Strand what is your scope of delivery in South Carolina?
So we're located centrally out of Myrtle Beach. That's why this office is called Dixon's Fixins Myrtle Beach, of course. We go about generally a 2-hour direction out. Of course, we can't go into the ocean,
right,
but we go generally 2 hours out in every direction. I know we've been all the way down to the island of Palms, down in Charleston. I know we've been all the way up in Wilmington doing deliveries. I personally take care of deliveries myself with my guys. I mean, we cover a vast area.
So what percentage of your business right now is home delivery?
Home delivery, 83%.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. I just love it. Like I said earlier, if I could have had someone, a company like you back in Los Angeles when I was a private chef, you'd have been a gift from God. How do you compare to grocery store prices?
Oh, easily. You said you spent a third of your day inside of the grocery store. That sounds like my Sunday.
Yeah.
We're going around to local areas, local grocery stores, figuring out what folks are actually doing. And when you break it down price per pound, it still averages out to the same. Whenever you buy something that says that's price per pound, there's only 2 steaks in it.
Right.
You're paying $30. Generally, those steaks are breaking down to about $15 a piece after you do that.
Yeah.
And that's what people are paying anywhere you go around here.
Right. And I did some quick math before you came in, and for one of your packages, I think it was the least costly package, your steaks are averaging out to about $13 a piece.
Yep.
That's incredible.
Yep.
That's incredible. And that was for choice, and for prime, it's about $17. I went into Walmart the other day, and I'm perusing the meat area, and I see a package, because I don't see it a lot, is short ribs. And I thought, oh, wow, I haven't had that in a while. And I grabbed the package. There's 4 little short ribs in there. They were $20 for 4. So you're certainly competitive in the price area. Tell the listeners something about the quality of the meat that you have.
We like to judge ourselves on our repeat business and the relationships that we build with our customers. A lot of folks tell me they will not go back shop anywhere else. I hear that from folks often. I have some folks that call me and they're like, hey, anytime that we need to use you for like an event, can we do something like that? Give me a couple days in advance. We got you. We're right there for you. I have folks that order and they only use me maybe 2-3 times a year, and they don't have to shop for their meats.
Explain to the listeners how your packages break down. There are smaller ones, there are larger ones.
I'm going to use, just for easiness, I'm going to use the one that you actually just brought up, our smaller package for our beef, our choice pack. At $4.89, you're right at $13.58 a steak. For a 1-pound choice T-bone, we just went over that. You're going to pay closer to $17 for a steak like that, anywhere that you go. If you go to a restaurant with a baked potato on the side, we're talking $30 to $50, depending upon where you are. When we break it down like that, when we bring it to you, it's individually packaged. So you're not breaking up those big packs that you have to catch on sale at the grocery store.
Right, like in a Kroger, I'll go in and sometimes there'll be prime rib on sale, which is, for the people that don't know, once you cut that down, that becomes a ribeye, and that's what I would want to have. So then I have to go through the trouble of, I mean, I know what I'm doing, but most people
don't know.
Don't. So go ahead. Yeah. Sorry.
And whenever you break it down like that, it comes naturally to you thinking how you cook your meals. If you're a family of 2, you're not going to cook the same way a family of 5 does. That's generally a basis of how it goes. With us being individual, you can grab these as you need them out your freezer. You can thaw them inside of your sink in cold water, and then get it to room temperature, pat it dry, hit it with whatever seasoning you want, put it in this cast iron skillet, throw it on the grill, whatever your preference may be. You're done.
So explain to the listeners, we'll use that we'll call it the entry-level pack. It's $489.
It's $13.58 a steak. We're covering steaks like your T-bones, your Delmonico ribeyes, your New York strips, your fillets, sirloins, burgers, of course. And then a lot of the times when we're doing our in-house specials or we got something promoted online, it's a buy one, get one free.
Yeah.
And then you got to average in, we're throwing in 15 pounds of chicken, 14 pounds of seafood, or possibly 18 and a half pounds of pork.
Yeah.
Matching that to your grocery store, they can't do that.
Yeah.
There's no way.
Yeah. What I like about it most, and you touched on it before, is if you have a family of 4, not everybody is going to want ribeye steak. Correct. Or there may be 2 children who say, well, I would really like a hamburger. It's in that.
Inside the variety pack.
Yeah.
It's already there, easy to go, easy to grab, and you have it for everybody. That's one of our main things that we love. Tell
us about some of the other packages.
Our larger beef pack, our griller pack that we have, that's whenever you're stepping into your higher quality cuts. We're talking about $18 a steak. This stuff is baseball cut fillets, 1 pound porterhouses. You get 4 of those in there. Bone-in ribeyes. I mean, the stuff that folks just love to put on the grill and have a good time with. And that's what we cater to, bringing everybody back together around those moments and bringing that quality back to your dinner table where it belongs.
Yeah, back to the table. I love that line. And that what you just explained was like the step up from the first entry level one, which would then be prime cuts.
That's correct.
I mean, you see them in the grocery stores once in a while. I don't know if I would trust that it's actually prime, but you're only paying a couple dollars more for prime steaks.
And the crazy thing is only 2% of most of your grocery stores out there even carry it in the first place.
Right. 2% carry it, but you do.
Yes.
Yeah. And you deliver it to the house.
Right to the door.
It just blows me away because, you know the old saying, time is money. Who wants to spend their time doing that? I mean, if you folks think about this, right? First of all, your protein is the most expensive part of your meal. How hard it is to pick out the right cuts, what you want and everything. Can you imagine having all of this at your fingertips and all you have to do is match it to a vegetable and a side dish and you're done. So if people look at that price of $489 for how many steak, how many
38 cuts.
38 cuts. I mean, it's a great deal. The other thing too is as I was looking at your website, and it's a great website, it's Dixon's Fixins. You find it online, is I started to think that it's just me and my wife here. Although I'm a carnivore. I mean, I could devour one of these packages. What about game?
Game, we can step into a few other things. We do bison, elk, venison. I get that ground for a lot of folks. Some folks like the leaner stuff or the gamey stuff that they go for. A lot of folks love our bison. We can get bison ribeyes. When it goes back into the ribeye category, we do everything. We go from Delmonico's to bone-in to cowboy cut to tomahawk. Again, just stepping through all the stages and varieties. You can get a regular T-bone. You can get a porterhouse. If you want just a small fillet or if you want a baseball cut fillet, that's a larger size. We can get everything.
The first thing that jumped out at me is, where am I going to put all this stuff? Well, the smaller packages, yeah. But as it goes up, there's more quantity. And I don't know where I would keep those steaks.
Okay, so perfect. What we offer, you pick any 5 cases. We'll give you a freezer. The freezer is yours to keep. It's brand new in a box. 1 year guarantee from the company that the freezer is done with, from the merchant there. 1 year guarantee on your food from us. And again, the guarantee is for taste, tenderness, freezer burn. So we already eliminated the fact that if you have it in your freezer and something goes wrong, don't throw it away, because if you throw away food, what are we doing?
Waste.
We're throwing away money.
Yep.
All you got to do is give us a call. We'll come out there. We'll swap out your stuff. If it's freezer burned, something goes wrong with it, or quality, you give me a shout. We'll come swap it out for you, get you taken care of. being inside that freezer, it's guaranteed for a year. You put it inside your garage or stick it in an area inside the house that's convenient for you to get to it for your kitchen. You're done. You don't have to shop for meat for the next 6 to 8 months. Some folks wouldn't even have to shop for a year.
Yeah. And just to repeat, folks, if you're worried about storage, I mean, this is obviously, terrific quality meats that is delivered right to your door. I just can't get over that. But if you order one of the larger packages, they literally give you a free freezer. I mean, it's just the coolest thing. What is your favorite cut of meat? I had Mel Gibson on a couple of weeks ago, and he just he said 2. I can't remember what the one was, but I knew because I cooked them for him hundreds of times. Is the ribeye, which you so kindly brought me a sample.
Me and you were talking about it on the phone, and I had to have to agree with you 1,000% the ribeye.
And how would you prepare it?
Honestly, nowadays, cast iron skillet.
Yeah. It's just the best.
It really is.
You just can't.
You get you a good steak butter made up. Yeah. Some folks, I use beef tallow. Depends on what the occasion is or what we're doing. But once you get that in there with some rosemary or some fresh garlic, and you're putting it over there for your finish, with that crispiness, man, you can't.
And you're basting it.
Yes.
Yeah. As it's cooking in the pan, you're basting with that. Yeah. That's. Man, am I hungry. I love doing this show, but man, I'm telling you. And, I only have guests on with food or topics that I'm interested in, and I hope that translates into listeners. So, Christopher from Dixon's Fixins, you've obviously been doing this for many, many years, but you're fairly new to the Grand Strand. What would you like to see happen with this business?
Man, to sum it up in one word, legacy. Something that's going to last, something that's going to stand there. I love the fact that a lot of the places here in the Grand Strand area locally have been here for many, many years. They've faced adversities, ups and downs, and they're still here standing true to what matters, your customers, and that happiness, like we said in the beginning of this, to bring that to people. If I'm living 2 houses down from you and I smell your grill going on, and I stop by and say, hey, neighbor, what's going on? That's an interaction that just got brought to us together by food. Making something that stands true is something that I want to do for my kids. Between me and my wife, we have a lovely blended family of 8 children.
Wow.
8 children.
8 meat eaters.
That's right.
Now, you also offer seafood. Now, I've been in the Grand Strand now for 3 years, and the locals are very, very particular about their seafood. So how do you address that with the locals wanting to purchase your products?
Again, one of the main things that we stand on is local. We like to use local suppliers, find folks in different areas. Again, we are new to the Grand Strand area. I would love, this is my time, I guess, to shout out to all the folks out here, fishermen, anybody that does shrimp, crab legs, any of that stuff at all. Be very quick to get in contact with us. We're not hard to find. We would love to build a relationship with you guys because, again, folks don't understand from that ownership part. Some of these folks out here that are providing seafood to the Grand Strand coast, they can't get any further than the farmer's market where they may be stationed at. If they're at the dock, bringing it in for folks for easy sale. They don't have the marketing streams or the tips or the ways to get out there for folks to see it. We're a delivery company. We would more than rather earn their business and your business, bringing something that you already love in your local area anyway.
Christopher, what would you say is the scariest thing about starting a business like this?
Not only believing in yourself, but having other people to believe in you.
Like who?
Man, people pull support from everywhere. My biggest support system and the reason Dixon's Fixins is here today, the belief that my wife had in me.
Wow.
My wife, she had her own cleaning company in Florida, and she literally shut everything down because of the dream that I had and wanted to pursue it with me.
And what has she done for the company? I mean, besides support, which is a terrific thing.
Financially, she's been there in binds. I know I've had $2,000 situation come up, and she's handed her entire check that she made for that week at the time and handed it to me to go take care of inventory or take care of a vehicle, anything to sacrifice in time, giving up things. I know while she worked her job, she took care of our CSR line for the first year of business.
What is that?
Our customer service line. Right?
Oh.
Anything that was happening, customers' concerns, or anybody that wanted to place a reorder, they had multiple forms of contact for us. And she ran our CSR line for the entire first year while holding down a regular job.
Wow.
We traveled the East Coast we traveled from Florida to New York. We went from New York to Chicago. We went New Jersey, Ohio, Texas, Arkansas. We went everywhere to figure out where we wanted to be. And I found locations where they don't have stuff like this. Even in the Grand Strand area, you don't have folks that are bringing stuff straight to your door to drop off for you to take care of your family with food. But a support system like what she has, the belief that no matter what happens, any obstacle, that you're going to be okay and you're going to come out on top in any outcome. Yeah. A belief system like that and somebody supporting you along the way, you can't replace something like that. No,
you can't pay for that. That's wonderful. Yeah. Folks, if that doesn't tell you how much heart somebody has in a business, then nothing will. What's your favorite pizza on the Grand Strand?
Oh, man.
Talk about a curveball, huh?
Yeah, that was a curveball.
But you and I had a conversation before we did the show, and you told me you were originally from the North, so as am I, via 40 years in Los Angeles. But go ahead.
Yeah, my wife, she's a Jersey native, 14 years in Jersey. When I was up there with her, Manhattan.
But here.
This
is a local show.
I know. But here, man, when it comes to pizza, we at our home, we use Marco's all the time. Marco's Pizza. It's out towards Conway.
Yeah.
Man.
It's good, huh?
Old style pepperonis.
Yeah.
Like that's what you think of when you think of pizza. I don't know. Some folks go here, some folks go there. I'm simple, man. I'm simplistic. Let's throw a couple meats on there and we're good to go.
I've got this trek that I'm on. I try to do one pizzeria a week. And at the end of 52 weeks, I'm going to choose the best one. And I've gotten a little disillusioned by it because I promised the listeners I would do one every week. And there are times I've been to 3 pizzerias and I don't like any of them. Okay, Christopher, anything else you'd like the listeners to know about Dixon's Fixins meat and seafood delivery right to your home?
Any of you folks in the Grand Strand area, I mean, I have a real saying about going to the dreadful grocery store. You know, the grocery store now is not just associated with what they carry. It's associated with waste the gas to go get it. And then, as you said in the beginning of the show, whenever you would go to the grocery stores, you would have to go to different locations to find exactly what you want.
Right.
We'd like to cater to bring that all into one location and just simply bring it right to your door. Yeah. Eliminate the hassle, the headache, the worry about what's going to be here. Is it going to be on time? Do we have the right type of food here in the house? We have such a variety that we could take care of pretty much anything that you need.
See that? Bingo. Period. Job done. That is Christopher Dixon of Dixon's Fixins, and you can find him, or his company rather, on the internet at dixonfixins.com. Okay, Christopher, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
So I had lunch the other day with my dear friend Jack Gregory, who you've seen, I'm sure, his pictures posted on Facebook, Pawleys Island Peeps and Murrells Inlet Eats. And This guy has eaten all over the Grand Strand. So he invited me to lunch the other day. When high-end places post pictures, you know, in some of the fine dining restaurants, I am immediately drawn to plate presentation. You know, what the chef had in mind as far as how he constructed the plate, you know, visually, but also there's, you know, flavor profiles that come into play. And so that's where my eye goes to immediately. When Jack Gregory posts photos, I'm immediately hungry. He makes me hungry every time he posts a picture. But anyway, he took me to the iconic On the Half Shell in Murrells Inlet, and Jack and Half Shell didn't disappoint. It was a really, really nice lunch. Now, I'm going to back up just a second. If you're interested in fine china and beautiful silverware and multi-million-dollar decorations about the restaurant, this is not the place for you. This is good, solid food, and they're consistent. They've been around for a while. But they do the coolest things. At lunchtime, I think it's each week, they have, I'm sorry, each day they have a different special. When we were there, it was on a Friday, so they had fried flounder lunches. Forget this, $5.50. And it comes with either fries or coleslaw. On Mondays, they have dollar oysters. Shrimpy Tuesdays for $5.50. It could be shrimp scampi or fried shrimp and fries. They've got a couple of other ones as well. But that's $5.50 for local fish and seafood. I mean, you cannot go wrong with that. They have, they got homemade desserts, and there's always specials on the chalkboard when you come in. So make sure you check those out. On the board there. They do have a sushi bar there. You know how I feel about sushi. I'm just personally over sushi. It became popular in Los Angeles in the mid-'80s. So I've had my fair share of it, but have at it if you like it. I'm sure it's good. I just explained to you, the great deals that you get daily. But the bottom line is it good? And the answer is yes. It's done very, very well. As a matter of fact, my friend Jack and I had the same dish. We ordered the fried flounder, and I really believed that it was fresh flounder. He seemed to think that it may have been flash frozen, but frankly, I don't care. What I care about is the results, and the results were terrific. Add to that, absolutely sweetest server, and Jack tells me that they're all that way. It's obviously a local hangout, but, don't get the impression that it's only, the older crowd that's been in Murrells Inlet all their lives or for the last 40 years or whatever. Young people in there as well. Like I said, staff is terrific. And whenever I see that, I know immediately from experience, from being a restaurant owner, comes from the top. Now, I don't know who the owner is. I'm sure Jack does, but it immediately says something about the owner's character that he has that many employees, he or she has that many employees, and they're all friendly and welcoming. I mean, I've been here 3 years now, but when I walk into an establishment, a restaurant that I haven't been in before, I feel like a newcomer. And, it's a bit intimidating. New place, especially these iconic places that I like to go into. These people have been going there for a long time. It's my first time. They made me feel like family. And it was a really, really good afternoon. And they're located at 4500 US 17 in Murrells Inlet. They're set a little bit back off the road. Once again, nice place. Certainly well worth the trip. Frankly, I can't wait to go back. Jack, you did it again, knocked one out of the park for me, and I appreciate that. Little bit of bad news. I'm going to have to stop with the pizza commentary for the next couple of months because yours truly did it again. Over the holidays, gained a massive amount of weight. So I am once again, seems like I have to do this once every year, once every 2 years. I have to lay off the carbs. It's the only thing that works for me, and it's because I like to eat large amounts of food. It seems like the low carb diet is what works best for me. So in a couple months, we'll get back on that train again. Anyway, that's going to wrap up episode 15. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to check out Chad over at the Gourmet Cooking Connection. That is the cooking supply store over at Hudson Surfside Flea Market. They're at 104 US 17. And also, go to their website. This is a good thing. You can have food delivered to your house, and that is Dixon's Fixins. Once again, Dixon's Fixins. Check them out on their website. They're also on Facebook, but they're that local business that delivers excellent meats and seafood right to your door. You can't get any better than that, my friends. Anyway, so that wraps it up for this week. And always remember, folks, you are your family's private chef.